All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode number 2 of our unnamed podcast. We did not do our homework, but we are working on it. So if you guys have any ideas of what the podcast name should be, drop them down below. Today we're going to be talking about a very, very important topic.
So we did a poll, and it was either between behind the scenes of TikTok and being a content creator, or questions about living with your partner and us answering them. And the living with the partner won. I have a few questions that we can answer. First question: how long should you date before moving in together? That's a good question.
I don't think there's a specific time that anybody should be together. I mean, we were dating for 4 years and we moved in, but the way that we moved in together was not planned. So, hypothetically, right, we don't know what we would be doing if we didn't have to move in, if she didn't have to move out, because I chose to move in with her. So, I don't think there's a specific time. I think maybe a few years. It just depends on your relationship and where you guys are at, to be honest.
I think kind of how Joseph said, there is no specific time frame. Like I don't think you could really put a time like, oh, 2 years. I just think it depends how strong your guys' relationship is. And also I think what I wish would have happened between us is when you're both financially able to. So that way it could prevent a lot of issues in the future.
Yeah.
So I just think it's whenever you guys think your relationship's strong and you guys are ready to commit to living together and
Yeah.
sharing your space.
Yeah.
Next question is, how long does it take to adjust after moving in together? I don't think, again, there is a specific time frame on how long it would take to adjust to your partner. I think it's just as you go, you guys kind of have to communicate and get each other's habits and routine and kind of just see what works best for both of you.
I think that's the biggest thing. I think months and even probably years, to be honest. We're only 10 months into living together and we've already learned a lot. So I do feel that it's like a never-ending thing. There's always going to be something that can be adjusted. And I'm just thinking, I don't know, even for like marriages, right? Like there's always pivots that need to be made within the relationship or within the marriage. So I just think that, yeah, like being in love or having a partner and moving in with them and adjusting is like, it's like it's what you do for the rest of your life, to be honest.
And to be honest, I think you'll never adjust to your partner, especially if you both are trying to grow. And that should be the point, growing together. There's never going to be a perfect, there's never going to be a time frame of when you're going to adjust to your partner. I think it's just you guys sharing your experience and your journey together.
I think just like learning and growing together and just being a part of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How can a couple prepare to move in together?
I think I think having like sit down conversations, to be
Yeah.
honest, about maybe, I don't want to say expectations, but how would you go about certain scenarios, or like what would we do in this situation if money was tight? Like how could we go about it in the best way to move forward together? I think those types of conversations would be ideal. It never is going to prepare you for like really going through that thing, like actually going through that scenario. So I think just communicating what you like, what you don't like, really getting to know your partner on what their goals are, what their dreams are, what they want in their life. I mean, think about this. Let's say you're dating somebody for 4 years. We'll use Daniela and I as an example. Let's say that we're dating, and let's say that all of a sudden she finds out that I don't want a family and she wants a family. And she's wanted a family these whole 4 years. That's something that should be talked about before you move in with somebody to prevent the catastrophe, right? Like a lot of these conversations can really can really prevent a lot of heartbreak and bad case scenarios.
I think the best way to prepare, kind of relating to what Joseph said, is talking to your partner about specific goals that you individually want and if they match. What's some brutally honest advice that everyone should know living with their partner? Mine would be to you guys is it is not as fantasized as social media makes it seem. I think everyone on social media makes it seem so pretty and so, oh my God, I want to move in with my boyfriend already and sleepovers every day. It's not that. I think it's people on social media just want you to see the good side and never the bad. Obviously, they're not going to post their arguments or anything like that. And I think it's very deceiving going into that mentality of, yay, I'm so excited to move in with my boyfriend. It's going to be perfect. Like, we're going to spend every day together and it's going to be good all the time. And it's definitely not if you're prepared to have those tough conversations with your partner.
I like that one. I think that's a really good point. Yeah, it really is. It's a lot, you guys. It's a lot moving in with your partner. It's what I wanted to talk about is you're gonna have to sacrifice more than what you think. You really are gonna have to sacrifice more than what you think, and that means putting your partner first, loving your partner in different ways, adjusting for your partner, making sure that both ends meet for you and for them. It's a lot of extra work that nobody really talks about. It like marriages for 20, 25, 30 plus years, like damn, I really do have a different perspective on that happening because it's like that's a lot of work. Like over years. And I think the brutally honest advice is like you're gonna have to sacrifice more than what you think because yeah, it's not all rainbows and butterflies when you move in with your partner. It's not all perfect. There's always gonna be, or at least at the beginning, there's gonna be arguments and nagging and petty arguments and not being on the same page and it can be overwhelming. So I think because you have to learn how to adapt to your partner, you got to sacrifice a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, I think going into this mental state of my partner's not perfect and you guys grew up in two completely different households. And yeah, just keeping in mind that your partner isn't perfect.
Yeah. And it's not your responsibility to fix your partner either.
Yeah, you guys have to adjust to your guys' ways, I
Yeah,
guess.
like tendencies, like people have different ways of doing things. Just because your partner likes to watch a YouTube video while they eat and you like to eat in peace and quiet, it doesn't mean that there has to be an argument about that. Like it's okay to have different tendencies, but it's also about finding like, okay, well, how about I watch this video now and then tomorrow we can eat in silence, right? Like it's about that compromise.
How does it feel living with your partner?
I think it feels good. I mean, I feel like one thing I learned is like I love having my own space. I think that's a big thing and living with my partner is it's nice, right? Like we wake up next to each other and we start the day, right? Like we love going to the gym. Like that's our thing that we do and coming back home to the apartment and cooking or finding the next meal, like I think it's great. I think it's cool. I think having my own home is gonna feel different, but for right now, like this being a part of the journey, like I definitely appreciate the struggle and I definitely appreciate what we have and what we don't have right now.
Yeah. For me, how it feels to live with Joseph is grateful seeing how he is, even though it's a journey, it's a process, kind of getting into routine of how we are individually. But I love seeing how he is, like deep down, like to the core. Like it's different when you're just dating and you're going over to each other's house and just doing all of that. Like it's completely different living with someone. and seeing their true habits and whether they leave clothes on the floor, whether they leave hair in the shower. Like, I just love the characteristics that Joseph has, and I'm just super grateful for that.
Aww. Thanks. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Look at you getting all red.
Yeah.
So the next question is, what are some things to remember when moving in together as a couple? I think what's important, and many people who have lived together, especially for years, is don't get used to your partner. Because you guys live together, you guys see each other every day, you kind of get used to doing things, you feel like you don't kind of have to try. And I think it's living together, not as coexisting, but being present. Like still planning little dates, or even doing like asking each other like check-ins of like, oh, how are you doing? Like kind of like continuing that, like if you're still dating.
Yeah. I like that. I like that a lot. I think I would just add to that point too of just loving your partner. You know what I mean? Like not just getting used to them always being there, or just kind of just going with the flow, because I feel like as human beings it's easy to get comfortable, and it's easy to just, this is enough, and a lot of people settle, and I think a lot of people can settle in their relationship as well, which kind of burns out the flame, and you want to keep that flame going. Like you want to be excited to go on a date with your partner, you want to be excited to have dinner together, you want to be excited to, I mean, do anything, right? Like even be intimate, like that can be a big thing as well, right? Like all of that is very important.
Next is, do you do all the cooking and cleaning?
No,
So
neither of us do.
I don't know who that question's for, but I think we go 50-50. I think we've kind of always done a good job on that.
Yeah.
Kind of just alternating. Recently, I've been doing more of the cooking just because I like to try new meals.
Like one of my weaknesses is like really taking the time to cook a whole meal with 30 ingredients, or even 10 ingredients, or even 5. Like I'm very simple. I am a very simple human being. I can eat ground turkey and rice 3 times a day. I can eat chicken and rice with a little bit of hot sauce 3 times a day, and I'm perfectly fine. Daniela doesn't operate like that.
And I love cooking. Like the times that I've cooked those meals, like I'm just like, don't go in the kitchen. He offers help, he does. But I'm like, no, I'll do it on my own because I love cooking and being alone in the kitchen and just like it's fun to me. Last question. Do you see each other differently now that you moved in together? Yes. I think it's normal to see each other differently. Not in a bad way. Not that I'm like, oh my God, I can't stand him. I see him differently because I see how he is. I see how much he cares, how much he loves, how much like he's there. And I just love that he's like that.
Yeah. Do you?
Like I love how when I'm cleaning, he's like, oh, what can I help?
Yeah, well, thanks for acknowledging that.
Yeah. And because I know a lot of people aren't like that, men and women. And for me and my relationship, I'm talking personally, I want it to be where my partner wants to help.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't do that, and that's fine. But I love that he's like that, and I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful that he also shows his weak side and he is vulnerable to me. And that's it for me.
Yeah. Well, I do see her differently as well, and I think it's all part of growing. We definitely aren't the same people that we were when we first started dating each other, and I am grateful for like learning how she loves, because when you're dating your partner and you see each other every day and you're going on different dates, and it's like, oh, I'll see you tomorrow, I'll see you the next day, like like that's all great, but when you like live with your partner, like when those tendencies like don't really change, like that's a really reassuring experience, right? Like she makes me feel like, yeah, she does love me and she does care about me. She is all about me. I don't know, like being together and living together, it's nice. Yeah, it's nice to know that like how you loved me before is how you love me now, and it's whoa. I'm getting gassy. I'm getting
You're
gassy.
nervous?
I'm getting nervous, so I'm gassy now. But it's just nice to see that like she loves me for who I am and what I bring to the table and what I'm working
I
towards.
think also how I see you differently is, in a sense, we're creating the household that we would want
Yeah.
for our future, because he grew up differently, right? Like you were raised differently by your parents, and I was raised differently by mine. And we both grew up with different life experiences. And now we're combining both of those, like trauma, experience, just everything. And now we're learning to create our own. And okay, how are we going to approach this? And I think that's something I want to add as to how I've seen Joseph differently is, damn, like he could really hold it down, because when I'm stressed, like I'm stressed, like I'm like, oh my god, like I get so much anxiety. And I love that he finds a way to, okay, well, what can you do, what do you have to do for yourself first? And it's like, I didn't think like that before.
I take care of you though. Yeah, when you move in with your partner, it is gonna be filled with good and bad and sad and happy and highs and lows. It's gonna be filled with everything. But if you like truly love who you are with and who you see, then you're gonna find a solution. And I think that's why I'm always, because yes, I'm an entrepreneur, so like I have to solve problems. But with my mindset with that, I develop, okay, well, our relationship's the same way. So how can she solve a problem? How can we solve a problem? How can I solve a problem to make this relationship work? And if you can have that mindset around your partner or your loved one or moving in with your partner, then everything's going to be good. But I do feel like that's why a lot of relationships can fail, because it's two different traumas that meet together and both feel like they need to keep what they've been engraved in your head,
Yeah.
and it's just not true. Like you can rewrite your story and you can rewrite your new potential household in the future. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And I think that's an important thing that Joseph has taught me, is because I want kids in the future, and asking the question, well, how do you want to raise your kids? Like, what do you want them to see? And I think that's a really, really strong question to ask myself, as to what do I want the life for my future family to be.
Yeah.
But that wraps up the questions you guys had.
We appreciate you guys for listening in. Let us know if any of this resonated, if maybe you got value, or maybe you got a question or something didn't make sense. Just drop it in the comments for us, and we'll get back to it. We love to talk with you guys, not just at you guys. So thank you for listening to what we've learned so far in our journey.
Yeah. So stay tuned for the next podcast. And hopefully we have a name for you guys.
Yeah, hopefully we do. We'll talk to you guys on
So
the next one.
see you guys next Sunday.
Bye.
Go get the spider.